Your message is important to us. Please hold. Your message is important to us. Please hold. Your message is important to us. Please hold.
Looking for great value home insurance? Don't go online for an anonymous corporation who takes your money and abandons you. Choose High House, your local insurance company. High House Insurance don't pay to be on comparison websites, so your premiums are better value. For a free, no obligation quote, call 606 552. High House Insurance, local, reliable insurance. High Street, Selsey.
Hi, and welcome once again to Selsey Internet Radio Podcast. My name's Keith Barnes, and in this week's show we have Jean Pratt, who will be telling us what's going on in and around the village for the coming week. We're also listening on a private conversation between three intellectuals. This was recorded between recording stuff for the show when I just happened to leave the record button on. You might find that interesting. We also have a shout out for the Smugglers Day. Dennis Cowan will be telling us what acts they need to fill up the Smugglers Day and make it as successful as the D-Day celebrations in 2014, and that'll take some doing, that's for sure. We also have some gardening tips from our old friend Giles Peare, and we'll have a couple of recipes from Keithy's kitchen. So sit back and take it all in as we start with Jean Pratt. Over to you, Jean.
This is Monday, March the 2nd, and this is just a reminder that the social club run by the Platinum Home Care team are at the Selsey Centre from 2 until 4:30, staffed by qualified care assistants who help those who might need it. Some of the things you can enjoy are puzzles or craft activities, coffee, tea and cakes and biscuits provided. For more information, telephone 605 675. On March the 3rd, Tuesday, the Writers' Circle are meeting at the Selsey Club in Cox's Road from 2:30 to 4:30. If you're already writing or are a complete beginner, you will be given a warm welcome. Membership is £10 a year, then £1 per session, but you get the first session free. Refreshments are available, and for more information, telephone Alex Palmer 606 591 or Pat Reed 601 550. Wednesday the 4th of March, there is a reminder that the Selsey Community Choir is at the Town Hall from 7 to 8:30. There is a charge of £18 for 6 weeks, payable on the first week, and the choral leader is Matt Hoff. No experience is necessary, just come along and have fun singing songs we love to sing. Wednesday the 4th of March, the Selsey Carpet Bowls Club are in Medmerry School in School Lane. They meet on Wednesday and Thursday evenings at 7 and Sundays at 9:30 and again at 3 p.m. Non-members welcome. Come along and learn to play. For more information, call Sylvia Cox 681 663 or Annette Isket 606 227. Also on Wednesday the 4th, the Crafty Natter Club is meeting in the Selsey Methodist Church in the large hall from 2 till 4. There are demonstrations of all types of craft. Bring along any project that you're working on and have a cup of tea or coffee while you work. There's a small charge of just £1. Transport by the Venture bus for members. For more information, contact Lisa Allison 601 032. On Thursday the 5th of March, there is a carers coffee morning at the Information and Support Centre at 109 High Street. Come along at 10:30. Everyone is welcome. Thursday, again, the 5th of March, the Voluntary Hearing Aid Unit is available at Selsey Medical Centre. They're there from 2 till 4. Thursday, the 5th of March, Seal Island WI meet at the Selsey Centre starting at 7:30. For more information, phone 605 673. On Friday the 6th of March, the Derby and Joan Club meet at St Peter's Church Hall from 2 till 4. They would love to welcome you. A good time is had by everyone for a fun game of bingo and a nice cup of tea. If you're a member of the Venture Club, you will be picked up. For more information, call Jill Evenden 604 187. On Friday the 6th of March, Sussex Wildlife Trust would like to invite you for an illustrated talk by Bernie Forbes. It will be on the birds and wildlife of Levos. It's from 7:30 to 9:30 in St Peter's Church Hall. That's in St Peter's Crescent. There are refreshments and a raffle. All are welcome. Admission is £1.50 at the door. On Saturday the 7th of March, the Selsey Cancer Relief Fund are having a Mad March fair. Go along and see their potpourri of bric-a-brac, gifts and toys, jewellery, Easter items and lots more. They would also be pleased to accept any unwanted gifts that might be getting in your way at home. Unfortunately, they cannot include electrical goods. Enquiries, Penny Hesp 604 339. And on Saturday the 7th of March, the Selsey Venture Club are opening their boutique and bric-a-brac after their winter break. And that's from 8:30 to 12. Lots of bargains to be had. Don't forget also on Saturday, the Selsey Scouts charity shop in School Lane is open again from 10 till 12. And that's all for this week.
Well, thank you for that, Jean. No shortage of things for people to get involved in, as usual. Now, this next item is what happens between recording of programmes. Well, sometimes we sit around the studio and have a little bit of time to kill between recording one part of the podcast and the next. And I just thought it'd be fun to leave the record button on and give you some insight into what goes on in between recording. So sit back and listen to these three intellectuals and see what you think.
It sort of goes 108, then the next week it's 109, and next week it'll be 110.
Well, the ones on the 27, the A27 going westbound, they're 118 and prices like that, incredible. They're so much more expensive, especially with diesel. They're so much more expensive, and yet, you know, it beats me that these people can't realise that. I know there are an awful lot of diesel cars about, but diesel lorries are what carry everything all over the country.
Yeah.
You know, and the price they're spending on diesel, if you've got a lorry that's running 12 miles to the gallon, you know, some of them are a bit more economical now and run at 14. But if they're running at that sort of figure, you know, they're using an awful lot of diesel, and that expenditure has got to come from somewhere, and it comes from us, the punter, that's buying food, any kind of goods you buy are shipped pretty much by road in this country, and 5 pence on a litre, and it's not a gallon, don't forget, it's a litre. So we're talking of 25 pence or 22.5 pence on a gallon of diesel to a lorry that's doing maybe 300 miles a day, 280 miles a day, is using an awful lot of diesel.
Do you use diesel?
Well, I don't drink it. I use diesel, yeah, but you know, people just don't account for the way it affects the cost of everything we do.
I mean, one of the strangest things I saw, I was watching one of these political programmes at 12 o'clock, and there was an analyst came on.
At 12 o'clock lunchtime? Because I know you're a bit of a night bird.
Yeah, lovely. Thank you, Keith. But there was this analyst that came on lunchtime.
Lunchtime, yeah.
And he spoke of petrol going down and keeping down for something like 2 years. Yet we know sort of over a week ago it's already starting to tiptoe its way up.
If you were an Arab oil billionaire,
you don't want your
and you've got an oil well, and the oil's not selling for very much because there's too much of it, well, you restrict the amount that you sell, and then it puts the price up. It's just a simple case. Absolutely, simple case of supply and demand.
Yeah, because they're already the petrol sort of oil people are reacting.
Yeah. We've not even got control of our own North Sea gas and oil.
No, that's true.
You know, so we've got no control at all over what we buy from the Arabs or anywhere else that we buy it for, because they just restrict the production, and when they restrict the production, it becomes, you know, people will not accept not being able to use their cars. Forget about true. Commercial vehicles. They're the lifeblood of the country. If all the commercial vehicles in this country stopped, we'd all be starving to death, right?
Yeah.
And we wouldn't be able to buy toilet rolls or anything else, because they're all delivered. Very, very little of it is delivered by train anymore, and certainly the canals don't get used for it, because they'll all be out of sell-by dates by the time it got delivered, won't they? We're going to deliver Tesco's lorries. Tesco's is going to go green, do away their lorries, and they're going to use the canals instead.
Lovely.
And all the sell-by dates will be a month out of date before it got to the store.
But the strange thing was, I don't know about you, is it was really kind of great to watch the prices go down, to sort of keep nudging down. You kept thinking, where will it end? You know.
Well, for
Well,
somebody
I knew
that
it would never go down under £1. I was convinced
Well,
of
it never
that.
reached the pound, did it?
No.
no, I mean they said it. Oh, you know, it's likely to reach the pound. It would never.
I mean, that is not going to happen.
But it does make a big difference to somebody that, like myself, that does a fair amount of mileage, and so fills up fairly regularly. You do notice a huge difference when you go and fill up with a tank full.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
over compared with when it was 132 a litre, and then everybody, especially old fossils like me, always forget.
You fossil, you.
Absolutely. Well, you forget that we're talking of litres here, not gallons.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, they're very strange, these litre things. Yeah.
Well, it's what, 4.5 litres to the gallon.
Yeah.
Approximately. If petrol was £1.80 a gallon, you wouldn't mind, but it's not. It's £1 8p a litre.
Well,
puts it to £5.5 a gallon or something. It's.
Well, a trip to London. I mean, I was in London yesterday all day, and I think fuel-wise, because of the drop, it had gone down from say 20 quid that I'd normally do it at, to about 19.
Yeah. Well,
Not a lot, but it's still good.
It makes a difference, yeah. I mean, if you're saving up against 122, were we paying? I think it was about 122, 123 for petrol. If you were paying that a year ago, and now you're only paying, it was down as low as 106, so there's 16 pence a litre, 48 pence a gallon, and the average car's got an 11 or 12 gallon tank. Don't take a lot of working out. You saved yourself a fiver-ish.
Yeah.
When you fill up. And,
I mean, I think mine takes 55 litres.
Yeah. It's 12.5 gallons, I think, thereabouts, isn't it? So, you can save a few. Well, it is quite a big saving, when you're filling up. But, of course, people in this country now won't accept not using their cars. There was a time when they make a token gesture of walking to the next door neighbours to borrow a cup of sugar instead of driving. Now they'll drive there, and you won't convince them that they're using more than the cost of the cup of sugar.
No.
It's the way people are, and of course there are people living out in the sticks. So that is the only way of getting somewhere. We're all right down in Selsey, we can jump on a bus into Chichester. And when you're a fossil like me, you can go for free, and why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Every 15 minutes you can jump on a bus and travel 8 miles, get off the other end. When you're ready, get back on the bus, come back 8 miles, and it ain't cost you a cent.
Why doesn't? I mean, last night when I was coming back, I kept thinking, why doesn't Selsey have its own petrol supplies? Why don't they have a garage forecourt somewhere in
Well,
Selsey?
it used to
There
be
used to be 5.
5 at one stage.
Yeah.
5-0 now it's gone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
That's pretty bad.
Well, that's right. That's the one at Siddlesham, and in fairness to the one at Siddlesham, they always keep their prices reasonable. I mean, they're quite often the lowest in the area.
Yeah.
I've noticed the one on the Burdham Straight down towards Witterings, that varies by a penny. They're always a penny difference.
Yeah. But
Why
compared
that,
with, as I say, some of them aren't actually on the main road, on the A27. They're charging arm and a leg, and they do it because they can, and I don't believe that anybody makes less money than they can.
No.
I'm not going to charge. I'm only going to charge 50p for a loaf of. Mr. Bun the baker says, I don't need to charge more, so I'm only going to charge a 50p. Don't happen,
No, but I got this. I mean, it doesn't happen to me. I don't run out of fuel, but I got this awful feeling that if you're from Siddlesham to here, if 3 miles or 2 miles further on you ran out of fuel, you've got a bit of a walk.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
sometimes
absolutely.
if I'm in the village all week doing things, and I suddenly look at my petrol gauge, we'll go 3.5 miles there and 3.5 miles back just to fill up some petrol.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's
Yeah, you're one of those that just runs around the village, John.
Yeah, most of the time.
People buying your car second hand would think,
Yeah.
what a bargain.
Yeah,
It's 6 years old, it's only done 6,000 miles.
yeah. I
Yeah.
wish.
It might as well have done 70 because it's only done 6 running round locally. It happens, you see it so often around here.
Right.
People say, well, I haven't done much mileage in my car. It's only done 12,000 miles. It's 10 years old.
I suppose really, actually, Selsey can
But
claim...
it's done the car no good at all.
No, I know, but I reckon Selsey can claim that everybody is really careful about keeping that tank with fuel in.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
in fairness, if you run out of fuel somewhere, you're likely to be 3-4 miles from a garage. Well, 3 miles, certainly.
Yeah,
from a garage,
even about 3/4 of a mile down the road past the bend, by that cattery place.
Yeah.
If you ran out there, you can't come back here for it.
No, that's right.
You've got to
go
go
there.
all the way on.
Got to go forward.
God, that would be awful.
I think the buses should have spare fuel cans on them, so that if you run out of fuel, you can just jump on the bus and get off at the garage and fill up, borrow the fuel can off the bus, and fill up and jump on the bus and come back. You know, that'd be all right, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Of course, you can't carry flammable liquid on a bus. But there we go. But thankfully, most people going to and from Selsey, somebody would stop if you saw you walking along with a petrol can. And in all honesty, if you haven't got a bus pass and you're too mean to pay the fare, I suggest you carry a petrol can, and people will pull up and offer to give you a lift.
How many people carry an empty petrol can now? They
Not
used
many
to
people,
years ago.
Not many people.
But
And
that's
they have to be
only
marked
now.
up, of course.
Yeah,
They've
that's
got to be
right.
marked.
They've got to be approved.
Flammable
haven't they?
liquid,
Be approved.
exactly, yeah. I've got one in my garage.
Yeah, I've got about 4 or 5.
I mean, that's a
at
real
home,
handy
but-
place to keep
yeah,
the spare fuel
yeah,
can, isn't it, in
yeah,
your garage?
yeah.
So you've got to walk 3 miles to get back to your garage to get the spare fuel can, then you've got to walk 6 miles back to the garage to get the petrol.
What a drudge.
Yeah.
Oh,
There you go. I
these
mean,
people don't think about us at all. We are motorists.
we're in a forgotten land living down in
forgotten
Selsey,
land,
you know. No garages. I mean, if it wasn't for the people visiting Bun Leisure, we wouldn't see the outside world at all.
That's right.
No,
We'd never keep up with what was going
Yeah,
on.
the Bun people. Yes.
We'd never keep up with what's going on.
I think we should declare independence and put some sort of barrier down at Ferry Corner.
That's right, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, we should do
Oh, I
that.
like a bit of this. Yeah. A bit of
Independence for
insurgents.
Selsey, the
Ooh,
Selsey
yes.
Independence Party.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
We want
border
cheaper
control.
petrol.
Border control.
Border control. Cheaper
Yeah.
petrol. Do you hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's obviously why people don't phone into the show very often. I hope you enjoyed that little insight, a bit of fun there, into what goes on in between recordings.
Right, now you may have heard in last week's programme a mention of the Smugglers' Day, and you'll see it certainly banded around the village. The Smugglers' Day that's going to be happening on May the 24th,
Correct.
and our dear own Dennis Cowan has been cajoled by Lim Reeve into taking over the task of finding the acts. Now, I believe, Dennis, that you're looking for a variety of acts to take part on the day, not just musicians, but well, you tell us in your own words, what kind of thing are you looking for?
Yeah, we actually want a diverse situation where we've got people such as magicians. I've actually not heard of any magicians in and around this district, but let's see if we can find one. And anybody who's sort of like who plays the accordion, and any other kind of little small act, like guitar and person who can do something on stage for perhaps 15 to 20 minutes or even longer. Because we need these people to keep the whole thing going, because actually the whole thing starts 8 a.m. till 10 p.m. But actually on the day, and when I'm finished in talks, we'll actually know when people will start.
Now, I mean, while I'm here, I can do my juggling. If you watch me juggle now,
You look marvellous.
see now juggling on a radio, I'm brilliant at. So,
Yeah,
do you think I got the part as a
You've
radio
got-
juggler?
You've got everything. Everything.
So you're looking for total diversity, a whole range of acts. Anybody that can juggle, that can play a guitar and sing, that
Yeah,
can
visual. It's
ride
got-
a unicycle while cooking an omelette or anything like that.
Yeah, because what they've got, what is presently planned, is that they're going to have a pirate show, which is 90 minutes long, and that'll be twice during the day. We haven't actually decided, or I haven't actually decided, when they're going to be in there. So we really want something visual, and bands, music bands like threesomes or foursomes, are better pitched during the evening. Yeah, we may do a trailer of doing maybe a little band, hopefully that they can play. It would help. And maybe they could go on maybe 4 or 5 o'clock. But the actual stage is actually going to be taken into a field very near the football field.
Really good.
So we actually really do need people to come forward who are willing to give their time free for Selsey. It is for Selsey.
Well, that's brilliant. And who will be doing the auditions?
Me?
Ah, really good.
I shall
So
reach out.
if we've got a heavy rock band that wants to fill in for 20 minutes, they got to come. They got to come and audition on your front
No.
doorstep.
Keith, they haven't. No.
But they can contact you, and you'll go and have a look at them.
They can send me an MP3, Keith.
Ah, no MPs are free. Sorry, Dennis. So have you got a phone number that they can reach you on, or
Yeah.
a number they can reach you via?
It's 605 707 local area. Be reasonable about what time you phone me, because after all, I do what I want with my own time.
Yeah, well, there is that.
Don't get up early.
I was just saying, don't phone in before 11 o'clock in the morning, whatever you do. And if you're, we're looking for smugglers, jugglers, or
Yeah.
brass band bugglers. Well, it's supposed to be buglers, but it didn't rhyme.
Yeah, well, if we get any of those smugglers, Keith, you see, we can do a separate programme, can't we?
Absolutely,
I mean,
yes,
This
yes,
radio
indeed.
station has to go somewhere, even if it's down that railroad you said at the corner of somewhere.
Absolutely that. Right, so if you're talented and you can spare some time and you want to take part in the Selsey Smugglers Day, and just cast your mind back to last year, because it's based on the D-Day thing that they did last year, and it's run by the same people. Just cast your mind back to what a success that was. And if you want to be part of something that's successful, then contact Dennis and let him know what you can do.
Yeah, who you are, what you do. Lynn needs you, your town needs you. If this town wants to be on the map, this is one of the ways. Only you people can do it.
Absolutely. Right, Dennis, thank you for that. We'll talk again soon.
Okay, Keith.
And my final guest in the studio today is our dear old friend Giles Peare.
How's things looking in the garden, Giles?
Getting on a bit, looking upwards a bit more. Sap's rising now, both in nature and in humans. Frogs are croaking a lot, which means they're courting.
Ah,
So listen out for the frogs croaking if you're anywhere near a pond or wherever. The wild swans and the geese, well, we notice it around here especially, are starting to leave now.
Mm.
You can see them going away in their formations. It's quite, they're off to their winter quarters, wherever they might go, north or south, wherever they go.
yeah.
So lots of them are starting to go now. There are some shrubs out now which are really, really highly scented. Daphne is one, and it's a very lovely blooming, and they're very highly scented at this time of year. Some of the shrubs that are out like Daphne are not that, and Choice is another one, are not that noticeable. They're not flattery flowers, but they make up for it with scent, and they really are nice to see. Mower needs booking in. If mower and tools, and it might need booking in now for service or whatever. I'm not suggesting people mow grass yet, but no, there is a temptation. Believe me, I get asked this question sometimes in mid-winter. People say to me, because the grass is a bit longer, shall I mow? I said, no, leave it alone. Don't be tempted, because it doesn't do any.
Last week.
Oh yeah, I know. Well, they will be, because they think it's a bit long. No, people have got this awful, what I call fetish, frankly, about grass having to be really short all the time. And the answer is if you cut it now, around any time in the winter, in fact, you're doing a lot of damage, actually. You're pulling roots up, you're weakening the structure of the growth. It's doing a lot of damage. So I would suggest to anyone, I'm sorry I'm getting on our horse here, but do not cut grass. Get the mower serviced for later on.
Put the mower in the garage.
Yeah, get it serviced by all means.
That'll stop you cutting the grass then.
And also, if you've got garden pond, it's a good idea now to check any of the pond plants. Some will need dividing, some have got too big, they need cutting back. So if you're thinking of trying some new different types of plants, now is the time to be thinking about doing it. So that's a job that can be done now. Anyone who says who's got a pond. Again, this time of year there's some very good bargains to be had at garden centres, because it's what I call it's coming up to it's in between seasons for the garden centres, basically. Yeah. So there's a lot of good bargains to be had now.
And you can save quite
and round here we're blessed with loads of garden centres and nurseries both. We're very lucky here, because this is obviously one of the main horticultural areas, this whole area. Not just Selsey. I mean, this going across to Worthing in the whole of England. We're very lucky. We've got a lot of nurseries, whatever, all sorts of.
I'm just glad I haven't got a very big garden, Giles. Otherwise, the wife would have me out visiting a different one every week.
Yeah, exactly. You would be. It's a good idea to sprinkle some sulphate of potash around any fruit trees and shrubs and bushes, whatever. A little sprinkle now is a good idea. Lily bulbs, good idea if we want to get some earlier ones, start them in the greenhouse for some early blooms now, which would be nice. A little snippet of a saying I would suggest. Foxes bark, owls hoot loudly, cows lie down, dogs eat grass, cats rub heads with forepaws. All those things forecast rain is on the way. So I'll leave you on that nice note.
I shall say nothing about the cows laying down, because my wife and I I've taken the mickey out of her over many years. She always says, "Oh, it's going to rain. The cows are lying down."
Well, I'll back your wife up.
So I shall have to make sure she misses this
I'll back
podcast.
your wife up, because I come from the countryside in Ireland again. I'm sorry, keep talking about that. And I can personally vouch for most of those what I've just said. In pain, I can vouch for it.
I should just have to make sure she doesn't listen to this one. Well, thanks very much, Giles.
See you soon.
Those pearls of wisdom.
See you soon, yeah.
And I'll see you soon.
Take care.
Thanks
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
And guess what time it is now? And yes, you're right. It's time once again for a visit to Keithy's kitchen. Our first recipe today is for an American version of chili con carne. And this is what we need. Take one whole cow. No, I'm only joking. Take 500 grams of minced beef, one onion, peeled and chopped, one red pepper, deseeded and cut into strips, one small chili, deseeded and chopped, and don't forget, don't rub your face or anywhere near your eyes when you've been chopping chilies until you've really washed your hands properly. Otherwise you'll won't be able to see. 2 tablespoons of tomato puree, 400 grams of red kidney beans drained, 2 cloves of garlic crushed, 1 teaspoon of paprika, 1 teaspoon of dried oregano, and 150 ml of beef stock. And this is what we do with it. We dry fry the beef and the onion in a large pan for 10 minutes until the meat is browned and the onion softened. We add the pepper, the garlic, the chili, the paprika and the oregano, and we fry for a further 2 to 3 minutes. Stir in the chopped tomatoes and tomato puree. Pour over the beef stock and the red kidney beans. Bring the mixture to the boil and season to taste. Reduce the heat and simmer for 30 minutes. Job done. And this can be served with rice if you like, basmati rice, or creme fraiche and tortilla chips and guacamole, fresh coriander, all that sort of stuff. So a really tasty dish.
Enjoy. Now, my second recipe for today is for what is described as a diabetic fruitcake. Now, I don't imagine that the fruitcake is diabetic, but unless they're referring to me as a diabetic fruitcake, some people have done in the past. But I'm always wary, being diabetic myself, of anything that's especially produced for diabetics. So shall we say this is a reduced sugar fruitcake? And this is what we need. 8 grams of artificial sweetener, and you can buy that in 1 gram sachets, so 8 of those. 80 ml of orange juice, 110 grams of dried cranberries chopped, 165 grams of sultanas, half a teaspoon of salt, 175 grams of walnuts, also chopped, 240 gram tin of pineapple, crushed, 25 grams of grated lemon peel, 75 grams of desiccated coconut, 1 teaspoon of ground mace, 1 teaspoon of ground allspice, 1 teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda, and 200 grams of plain flour. And this is what we do. We preheat the oven to 170 degrees centigrade, or gas mark 3 in old money. Grease and flour a loaf tin. Mix the artificial sweetener with the orange juice and pour over the chopped cranberries. And let that soak for an hour and mix it up regularly. Mix the sultanas, the walnuts, the coconut, the grated lemon into flour until well coated. Add the cranberry and orange juice mixture. Sprinkle the bicarbonate of soda over the mixture and mix. Stir in the spices and the pineapple. Pour the mixture into a greased and floured 23 centimetre loaf tin. Bake for 40 minutes and just let it cool before you eat it. Simple as that. And let us know what it's like, of course. And that's about it for this week. I'd like to say a great big thank you to the team, to John Fletcher, to Dennis Cowan, to Jean Pratt, to Giles Peare. And I'd like to say from myself, Keith Barnes, thank you for listening. See you again soon. Bye now.